Hi, welcome to your hip stretches. None of this is supposed to hurt except for a gentle stretching pain. So if this hurts, you need to stop. Also, if it hurts your knees, I'll give you some variations as we go. First thing you're going to do is just loosen up your sit bones here. So this is the only piece of equipment you really need. You can get a stool if you like, and a mat, of course, always very nice. So you're going to roll on your sit bones like this. And these next three are really good to do at the start of each workout. Okay, so you've rolled on your sit bones. Now you're going to lean off to the right and roll your right buttock. So the right side there. You don't want to be completely on your hip bone. So this is still a nice soft roll. And then we go into the other side. So just angle yourself over. So if you've got something like bursitis or a muscle tear in your glutes happening at the back there, these are probably not for you, but you can still give it a go. If it doesn't flare anything up, good, you're good to go. But you should feel it as you're doing it, and you'll know pretty immediately. I'm going to do a figure of 8 stretch now. So what I want you to do is pick up your right foot, put it on your right knee. Right side means that you lean to the right, and then if you can, you're going to draw that left leg in. So you've really twisted yourself up, and then you're rolling further onto the side. Okay, so what you can do with this hand is you can keep pulling it. Again, no knee pain. And just work with the body you've got, with the hips that you've got. So this is your third one. The first was rolling through your sit bones. The second was a slight lean, rolling through your buttock. And this is your figure of 4. So these are the 3 that are really good to do each time. Taking less than a minute. Easy to do in front of the TV. Okay. So if you want to, you can sit down. But what you want to make sure is that you're not flexed back like that, okay, in any way. You want to be up. So I'm going to do all of them sitting on the roll, and it's fine to sit on the roll. It's a really good idea. You're going to start with a butterfly stretch. So draw your legs right in, soles of your feet against each other, and you just flap those butterfly wings, just loosening up your hips. Then you're going to come into campfire. So your feet are turned out, your knees are equally turned out. You want to have a nice solid arch here, okay? So if you're like this, your arch is gone. You want to just work with your feet where you can. Okay, so we're going to start by doing 5 of these. It's not just the inward, but it's also the outward. Really pull out. 3, 4, really work that muscle out. 5. Okay, then the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. You're going to bring your elbows in between here. Sit fully on the roll. Look down at those arches and push your knees out. When you push your knees out, that should give you good arches. This is an inner thigh stretch. So get that stretch on, and then we're going to do a nice long push in, okay? So you're pushing your knees into those elbows. Your knees are not moving, but it's a strong, strong push. Keep holding that. Keep pushing, keep pushing. And then release and see if you can open those legs a little bit further. So I'm pushing further out with my knees. I've adjusted my feet just a tiny bit, and we're doing it again. So push in, push in. And release, and we're going to do number 3. So you're really holding those knees right out. So some of you might be fisting like that now because you're wide. Okay, off you go. Push in really strongly. Hips are funny things. They're made to move in many directions, but they're also made for stability. So you might find that you're loose in some areas and then really stiff in others. If you're any kind of normal, you'll find that one leg is much stiffer than the other, and relax there. Now, you're not really relaxing, because what you're going to do is when you take your elbows away, your knees are going to stay there. You take your hands to outside here, and now you're trying to push your knees in, but your knees are fighting, and you're holding there. There's no point in getting increased range in your joints if you can't hold with your muscles there. You need to be able to brace through the entire range of your joints. Back to your butterfly. So soles of your feet together. All right, so now you're just going to rest one hand here, holding that one still, and push and push. So it's a pulse, a pulse, a pulse. Down we go. And then take your hand, put it underneath. Your hand's trying to lift. Your knee is winning. It's pushing down. It's pushing down. Keep pushing it down. And release. And now the other side. So it's my left leg, I'm pushing it down into that range, just mobilizing it. And then pushing. So my hand's trying to lift it up, my knee is winning, it's holding down. And then put a hand under each knee and push as hard as you can. You'll feel your buttocks tighten. Okay, release. I'm going to turn side on. You stay as you are. Just want you to see what we're doing here. So at the moment, my sit bones are right on top of the roll. I'm just going to roll right back and come forward. I'm hinging at my body, hinging at my hips here. So that's a straight back. I'm not focusing on getting my knees straight. Okay, my legs are far enough apart that my body can come down in between. Watch my head. You don't want to be doing that, straining at your neck. You don't want to be doing this either. Your neck is part of that long, straight spine. The further you lean back, the more you should be able to come through. And the more we do this, the easier it will get. It's actually a really nice movement. Okay, so... Right, so we're going to side sit. So your feet are going to go to the left. I want you to make sure that both sit bones and both buttocks are nice and square. So on the ground, it's really easy to be kind of like that, and this buttock's right off. So what you want to do is stay up on your roll at this stage, and make sure your spine is a straight line up. If this knee is sore, it can be out like that. This knee is sore, just work with it in the pain-free range. But the idea is that you've got the front of the mat and you've got your shin in line with the front of the mat. Okay? Then you're going to hinge forward. So you've just practiced hinging. So now see if you can hinge in this position. So I want you to stay like that. I'm going to move sideways again so that you can see what's going on. Keep hinging forward. And keep that shin parallel with the front of the mat. Again, pay attention to your neck. Okay, so you're just going to butterfly that knee. That front knee is pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. And then a long, strong hold down there. Rightio, so now you are actually going to come off your roll and see if you can use this hand to push yourself back onto that left buttock. So you still want to be as straight as possible, and I'm using quite a bit of force, pushing towards the wall behind me there, beside me. Again, if your left knee is trouble, this is what you'd look like with that leg out. Otherwise, you're here. Okay, so now you're going to take your back leg into degrees of straightening behind you. So I'm just going to open my hip up a little bit, take it back, and then I'm pushing over. Pushing over. So in a minute, I'll show you, we're going to go for a straight leg. So spinning around, stay as you are. Keep that shin right up, level with the front of your mat. And my leg is halfway back and I'm pushing over. pushing over. So that's what's going to do the opening of your hip. So you want to, this leg, keep going here, will want to sneak its way in, and you've got to keep it out. Okay, so I quite often just hold it to make sure it stays there. These should feel fantastic, and fantastic afterwards. That your hips play havoc with your back. So if you have looser hips, your back will be better. Right, so now I'm taking my back leg straight. Remember I showed you before. And keeping this leg parallel, I'm pushing over again. Okay, I am not that flexible in this position. Some people can get right down. If I relax my knee, then I can come right across. So that's the aim, is you're wanting to come right across like this, but with your leg up here. All right, so you're going to sit yourself up on your roll. And let's start the other side. So you're side sitting with your feet to the right on your roll. And my golly, so my stiff hip, my leg is up a lot higher. Let's just see if I can drop it down. And now I'm pulling it down. Nice and strong, a direct pull down. Okay, hinging forward in this position, holding that leg down there. And then I'm pushing the roll away and coming down. Using my left hand now to push back to the right. So can you see I've got this curve on my spine on this side because my hip is stiff. So I have to work here. When I push back, my knee raises, pull that knee down, straighten my spine up, and then work forward. So I'm feeling a little bit of a pain in my right knee here. I'm just going to relax it out. You're going to feel it where you're tight. Years of sitting cross-legged with my right leg crossed over my left and never the other way around. It's probably the biggest contributor of all to this. So I'm making a really conscious effort now. When I sit cross-legged, if I need to sit cross-legged, then I go the other way. Keep doing that. By cross-legged, I mean when you're sitting like that in a chair. Okay, so now you're taking your back leg, your right leg, back a little bit, and now really pushing over. You just work with the body you've got. Be prepared to notice some change. So I am trying to push my body flat and over this front heel. Okay, so now I'm taking my back leg back. So you don't have to be very flexible to do the whole sequence. You just work with what you've got. Okay, so I'll give you the side view so you can see how my hip is lifting. And that's allowed. Can you see that? But as I get more flexible, you see already I'm staying lower. But I'm not quite sitting on the ground when I push myself over. Focus on keeping that knee, that shin parallel to the ground, to the mat. Okay, so you're going to lie yourself down on your mat. You're going to cross your right leg over your left. This is called secretary. And then you move your legs to the left. When you bring your legs up and hug them, your right leg's over, everything's heading to the left. So now you're aiming for a little muscle, piriformis, right in the deep in your buttock. And so I'm angling my pull across to that corner of the mat. Once you know this routine, it's really easy to do out in the sunshine, in front of the telly. And if you're really, really keen in loosening up your hips, you'll want to do it most days. You can stay in each of these positions a lot longer if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so now the other side, you're going to cross over. All right, so it's not the figure of 4, it's right over into secretary. Then you walk your feet to the right. You already feel probably a stretch along here. And then I'm pulling down and across. And that is where I'm feeling it, right there. So your sciatic nerve passes through your piriformis muscle. So it's really good to loosen it up. Just breathe your way into it. And again, you can stay as long as you like. Bring yourself down. Okay, so we're going to do hip flexors now. They are one of the most chronically tight in our sedentary society. So you're going to use your roll for balance and to help you stay upright. So you put it halfway between the front and the back of your mat and you're kneeling at the back. Again, you just do the best that you can on this. You're stepping your right leg forward. You don't want to be on a tight rope. It needs to stay right in front of that hip. And then if you watch, this is not what I want. Leaning right forward and sticking my butt out the back. What you need to do is tuck your tailbone under. So really tip, and you should have gotten rid of even a neutral spine. And then you're holding that and leaning forward. So now you shouldn't be able to go very far. Where you want to feel it is the front of your thigh here, front of your hip. So we're just going to hold that stretch for a moment. See if you can relax your toes. See how upright I am because I'm really pulling. When you lean forward, you know you're not got it right. So up here. We're going to pulse 10 times forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to take your front knee and turn it outwards. Hold that outwards and turn towards your roll. So now keep your tailbone tucked and 10 more pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Keep your knee turned out. Keep your tailbone tucked. See if you can sink down a little bit further. And then you're pushing through that front leg to bring yourself back and swap yourself over. So for this one, I'm going to show you the front view. So you are stepping forward with your left leg. You want to be so far forward that when you lean, your knee's not in front of your toes, okay? Tuck your tailbone and then forward we go. So you should be nice and tall. And this is exactly where I'm feeling it. And depending on how tight you are through your quads, you might feel it there. You might also sometimes feel it in your butt here. But we have stretched those out, so hopefully you won't. So you're really targeting. Notice that this foot is not in front here in line because then you'd have real balance trouble. Okay, so we're going to pulse forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get a bit more stretch. Take your left knee outwards. Turn towards the right. Stay up nice and tall. And then pulsing forwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. You're breathing nice and easily. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your toes are relaxed. And that stretch should be easing. Keep that tailbone tucked, which means your tummy stays on. bring yourself all the way back, and all you're going to do is sit on your roll to finish in butterfly. So you might not be any further down, but you should feel a whole lot looser. Okay, so you can do the whole workout every day if you want to, or you can do this 2 or 3 stretches, 2 or 3 stretches, 2 or 3 stretches, so long as you're working on it, okay? So contact me if you have any issues. Contact me if you're getting excited. I'll see you on the other side.